out the wax. Did you call it as a batik? And then the second, sablon and printing batik pattern. It is a nice batik pattern in the sablon, what is called screen printing, but just a color. You can a painting just there. You call it the pattern is a batik pattern, even very beautiful batik pattern, because you can make patterns through the computer, and then make it on the silk screen very easily. The technology is there, and then printing of batik double-sided. So normally they use just a copy with a scanner, the whole batik, scan it, and put on the plotter to a printing, and then they print exactly the pattern of the old batik and both sides. You can find somewhere here. I don't know in Jogja, but in Jakarta you can find. But my question is, which one you consider it is still batik? The pattern of batik, and then you can put, just mention in the in the video, and the porcelain, ceramic, and the glass, and the furniture, even on the mural, whether that kind of pattern of batik we can consider as batik. I don't think so. It is my opinion. So because the batik is including the process on the fabrics, how to make batik on the fabrics with original the pattern itself. You can be very contemporary about design, but the processing should be through the hot batiks to cover the color. I think this is what I'm thinking about the innovation in batik, whether we agree or not agree. Thank you very much.
Yes, you can take a big applause, but unfortunately, we are here, cannot clearly hear, just like Madam Surapi and Ibu Fushia, so probably they cannot discuss what you have talking about, but maybe floor, from the audience I would like to ask for your opinion, but firstly I would like to ask Madam Surapi, it's a charming lady, because I've shown you the Thailand batik with all the flowers, the beautiful colors as well. And can you tell me what is a batik in Thailand, and how is the development of the batik there so far?
Actually, I'm not a batik person. I'm a buyer of batiks. So I'm a collector and buy. I just bought this, by the way, just now. Just
this is a batik Sekar Kedaton, right?
Yeah. Just show you.
Yeah. You can just walk in.
But in Thailand, I think we are very modern batik. We only started not long ago, probably not more than 20 years. And I believe it started from the southern part of Thailand when we did wrap around for the beach wear. That's how it was
For
started.
sarong, right?
Yes.
More to sarong,
Yeah, for sarong. So to put it, to go on the beach, so you have a big piece of cloth and then you tie it.
How's the process of doing that?
Well, the same way. They use and later on, they paint on it.
Oh, they paint on it?
Yeah, paint the colors on it. Mm-hmm. So it's not really a batik. But like you said, it is a process that's particularly, done here in Indonesia. But in other countries, it's been innovated.
Innovated.
Yes, batik.
But you call it batik?
Well, we call it batik, yes. Because I think it's a general term, rather than the process in particularly. And we now have it in school. The children play with it, and they sell very well.
Mm-hmm.
And the fashion designer will come in, and then they do their own designs. So, and they call it batik because they paint on cloth, not waxing in particular. No.
No wax at all. Just painting with it.
Sometimes, but mostly painting.
Alright, I would like to Ibu Fusia first because Malaysian is almost similarly with Indonesian. Ibu, you have Batik Malaysian as well. And okay.
Ibu-ibu dan bapak-bapak, selamat siang. Kita umumkan yaitu hujan itu yang lebat memberi rezeki kepada kita.
Amin, amin. Lebih dekat.
Okay.
Ya.
Jadi dengan itu saya mohon kalau tidak begitu terang, saya boleh cuba dalam dua bahasa. As Ibu Retna has said, expert. But please, with all humility, I would like to say, I learned and I practice. I'm no expert, but I'm willing to share with you whatever I know, whatever I have researched, and you must be willing to share with me with all your new ideas so that I can take back to Malaysia and start working your new ideas. So it's a sharing process about batik. I'm sure for Indonesians, you must know that for Malaysia, we started batik as an art of the handmade, the process of hand printing or hand stamping, and later the hand drawn or tulis, which we learned from our dear brothers and sisters from Indonesia. That has been proven in the history and research for my book, which I have written and which I have recorded the few hundred designs that we have done, basically on the process of batik cap atau batik print. I will just reflect in a few minutes that when we started making batik, and here we are talking about the process of the printing atau cap, at first was way back in the 1920s and 30s. So we are more than 100 years old now, but never as old and as traditional as that of Indonesia. We are the younger sister or brother, if you like to call it. So we learned from yang tua.
Kakak tua.
And through the process of nurturing, and I use the word nurturing, we learned to develop the art by our own batik makers. So the history says that by the 1920s and 30s, we were doing mainly batik sarong. And it was true that we learned the technique from a certain batik maker who had come from Pekalongan and came to Malaysia, and for some trading and other businesses, stayed on and taught bapak-bapak kita di Kelantan dan Terengganu on the east coast of Malaysia. So that's how we started, was just making batik sarong. And batik sarong was important because that's the basic garment that we use in our daily wear. The story goes that when the war came, there wasn't enough of things to do and make batik sarong. And the story also goes to say that because of the war, it became an opportunity for our Kelantan batik makers to make batik sarong, and those batik sarong were sent and exported back to Indonesia. Don't ask me how true is that story, because I'm still trying to prove it. But I think it was possible, because we learned, we made, the war stopped us from making, and the bahan-bahan did not come through, but somehow it came to our country, And therefore we made and sold it to our brothers and sisters. But Batik Sarong didn't stay long. By the 1960s, there was agitation by the batik makers that it's time to do something more. We cannot be exporting Batik Sarong. The market was getting too fragile. Batik makers may lose their livelihood. And through some cooperation with a government agency and the UNDP, we developed the process of Batik Gulung. Batik Gulung became Batik Ella. And that actually activated the whole batik industry for the Kelantan and Terengganu people, and then it spread to the other countries, to other states in Malaysia. It sort of became a revival, not revival, it was a kind of expanding the whole batik market and a new way of using batik beyond the Batik Sarong. In other words, it became to be used as daily garments, baju sepasang, kemeja, sportswear, all the whole rigmarole of how batik as a cloth can be suited to use as clothing, as products for the home decoration, even for cadar, bantal, sarung bantal, selimut, and so on. And it was the fashion. Before long, all these great bedsheet people came. Everybody wanted to have batik, batik sarung, and batik cadar, batik tutup tilam, etc. And because of that, there was this creativity to make motifs that were pleasing and interesting while keeping the cost down. Then the second revolution came. People got tired with the batik ella, batik cotton. It was difficult to maintain, the color did not fast, and so on. Then the revolution was the batik tulis. We learned through the whole process of not the very fine batik tulis technique of Indonesia, but still using the chanting, develop our own style, and thus became what we call Batik Malaysia. So we have two, batik terap, batik cap, batik tulis. And that from the late 60s until now seems to be the trend and the fashion in Malaysia. And it also provides an opportunity for young people who have graduated from colleges and universities to express their aesthetics through this free hand-drawn, using the batik process and batik technique in expressing their aesthetics and graphics on cloth. So I'm not making any comparison because we are different and the products are different. And people who are different will like different things. So I would say I love my batik, I love Indonesian batik, I love Thai batik. I think if you are a craft person, if you care for the handmade, you will love batik no matter where it comes from in the world. And it is a global sensation. It's a global thing. You may own it because you are tertua, you are the best. But it is also a piece of heritage which the world shares. And it is, I believe it is the commitment of the people who knows best to pass and nurture the other people how to do the art as best as it can. because people are different, cultures are different, techniques can be further developed with sheer interest in the modern technology. I have many problems with the Malaysian batik, which Malaysian batik is facing today. And I think the problem is no different from yours and any other countries. We are told that we must move on. To move on, we must develop the products, design, product development. We must look at new materials. We need to look at new materials with ecology consciousness. We have to look at natural dye. We have to look at the way we promote it. There's so many we have to's that sometimes it gets quite maddening. But I think the crux of the matter in terms of the issue is that how do you differentiate between what is genuine, original, authentic batik made with the process either hand printed or tulis from that which is an imitation or not by the two process that I have mentioned. I think this is the one that is creating a big problem in the market because non-authentic products are reaching out, selling even more than the authentic products because they are better presented, better labeled, etc. I'll stop here because there's much to share in a while. Thank you.
Thank you, Ibu Fushia. You mentioned that you are not an expert in that, but you talk about the history of Malaysian batik is so. So, Ibu, I would like back to you with my question, but first of all, I would like to ask my friend Mas Agus and Nia Flame about batik. In your opinion, with your artwork up until now, what is it actually, and how you come to the innovation of the batik itself, and what is the most important thing of doing the new things?
Selamat siang. Thank you very much. Okay. I want to say about my creative process maybe. I love art. And why I'm choose on a batik? Because for me, batik is already exists in Indonesia for a long time. And then, because of that, I'm choose batik. Because I can looking for what the source of the creativity in my process. And with batik, I can see about something the tangible and intangible, because batik is part of art in a culture, and maybe I can a simple what's the intangible for me, like in my family when I was the plate. That is not only for the to make plate but in another way I can feel, because I was plate, because I was in family, and I knew the family is healthy and because Indonesia has become the Batik country, I think it's the important we look together from the practical life and the intangible life. Yeah, I think only like that for me. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Mas Agus. I think I can see that it's a voice from the heart because he is an artist. So. And Nia, would you like to add more?
About my experience with particularly Javanese batik, and after learning to do traditional Javanese batik for 2 years, I came back to my own creative practice, and through Ismail and his family, I was taught about a very important aspect that is given to us through the technique of batik. This aspect is a creative process which has been passed down from ancient times and has such a profound effect. So after working with this creative process with Ismail now for 31 years, I realized that the most important lesson that I have been taught through Javanese batik is the lesson of rasa. Rasa is a difficult word to translate, but we try to express it maybe as an intuitive sensitivity. And it was only a few weeks ago when we had a very enlightening discussion with Pat Manu that I realized from his explanation that the ancient Javanese language, the use is not through syntax but through rasa. So it's not only batik that is the teacher of rasa, but many other aspects of Javanese culture. And this aspect of rasa, in my opinion, is something of great importance in our world culture at this time, for it is a sensitivity that is available to balance the mind, which is the prominent aspect in our world culture at this time. So through the aspect of rasa in our creative work, we've come to realize when UNESCO recognized Indonesian batik as an intangible and oral tradition, that for us, we felt a responsibility to try to understand how to develop a methodology for teaching this, as it's not in this total cultural structure that it has been since ancient times. There is ola rasa and ola tupu. So we are also taught to become one, the microcosmos of the self, the macrocosmos of the realm that we live in, and the source of creativity. So some people might come to our studio and wonder, why are we working with the students in movement? But through the teachings of batik, we understand that if one does not become one with the body, then it's very difficult to channel the creative energies which are available through this profound creative process. So my concern at this time, if we're talking about innovation, is not necessarily that we think about ideas with our mind, but that a very strong educational system is developed in order to teach the young people this profound creative process. For through this process, innovation will come of itself. The centering, the rooting in traditional knowledge will bring these young people into new dimensions, for they are, as Ismail described, the branches, the new leaves, the fruit of a very ancient tree. And for sure, they will come forth in ever ongoing blooming and new growth. So it's my hope that sometime in the future that there will be an educational institution which teaches all aspects of batik, not just about designing and technique,
but the profound and rich heritage of the ancient Javanese system of creativity. Thank you.
Thank you, Nia. So we are listening to what the expert, I will say also expert, and what batik is for them. And of course, I would like to ask more about it, but now I would ask a friend of mine here, Kay. I would like to ask you, is it the batik you have in Taiwan as well, first? And then secondly, I heard that you would like to teach batik to the students in Taiwan. That's amazing. So I would like to hear about it from you. So please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks a lot for Ibu Marty's introduction and also the very provoking images that us to think about what's innovation. And I would like to start actually from my Batik trip in 2013. Great thanks to Professor Adishakti to help us to arrange the trip. And at the time, we traveled from Jogja, Cirebon, Pekalongan to Jakarta. And I think we got really surprises. Two more surprises lying. First of all, we were really surprised about the rich cultural connotations of batik in Indonesia. Okay. And also, to our surprise, that is the batik innovation. I mean, so many people are actually demanding for batik. So patterns are innovated and a lot of rich variations, which is really surprising. And secondly is we get to know that in Indonesia, actually there are some cases which the batik was used as a way to revitalize the post-disaster community. And this was actually shared in Taiwan. We had similar situation. After the 1990s, we had a big earthquake. And Taiwan indigo was actually also used a way to revitalize the community. And that is really a sharing situation, and that let us think how blue can be a power of resilience, or the natural dye can be power of resilience. And after that trip in 2013, we invited Professor Sita to visit Taiwan and to start a series of lectures and workshops of batik. And that drew great attention from all over Taiwan. We had lectures in Taipei, Central Taiwan, even East Coast, Hualien. And many audience came over Taiwan to attend this batik workshop, including the students of my university, also many professional audience from all over Taiwan. They really keen to know batik, to learn batik. And I think this brings us to a dimension in relating to innovation of today's theme. The first is, I think, international exchange is always needed for future innovation, no matter for the professional audience or the art students. And I think this is very important for this sharing of skills and also sharing of challenges and the solutions. And this can be further promoted in the future. And the second dimension is about education, which I think is really, I agree a lot about the education is really important for the innovation. Regarding the education of craft, I think we need levels of education, including professional education, like I mentioned that the skill exchange and the furthering the skills is really important. And the second is about national education. And I was really impressed that while I visited the exhibition here, I found all those education program of Batik actually is deep in all the school system here, and which is very important, not only for the heritage education, but also for nurturing potential or the future innovators. I think this is really important. And the third important thing is this is very important for cultivate future buyers, customers who really understand the value of the batik. Yeah, and I think so which lead us to think about further that I think there's really a need of educational or research center institute to really put efforts on profoundly met the batik culture heritage skills profoundly to be understood. And also in the end, I would like to respond to Ibu Marty's question in the beginning, because we're seeing so many images regarding the innovations of batik patterns in the contemporary society, and which are really provoking, and we can think about a lot of issues. And first thing came into my mind was actually related to when Ibu Sita was in Taiwan during one of her presentation, an audience after watching all these photos about school kids learning batik and met their own Pikachu patterns. And one audience raised a hand and asked whether this Pikachu pattern work can be called as batik. Yeah, and this made us to think further whether batik is about patterns only or about the holistic process of everything. And in my opinion, I'm thinking that always innovation derives from sincere self-expression. So whether patterns can be efforts to that, or whether patterns can be limitations as well. So perhaps they will give us more thinking about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kate. Did I hear that you mentioned the name of Laratna Adisakti to go to Taipei?
Yes.
And which is the person? Is it over there? Oh, you are the provocator, yeah? You make the Taiwanese would like to know about Batik. Yes, Sita. Yeah. So we just big applause to Sita, because probably she has to go around the world to make a batik is well known to other countries. Thank you so much, Kay. So this is something that I would like to ask more from the expert here. I would like to say expert because it's so short and simple, but and you are expert also, Ibu Fuhia, but you are so low profile. About the imitation that you mentioned before, Kay. I would like to ask Pak Rahadi, which is so strongly against the batik. Yeah, I know that Ibu Surati cannot hear if somebody is standing. All right.
Okay. Imitation or fake or something like that. And here in Indonesia we call what is batik tiruan or tiruan batik or something like that. But please show me what is the slide number 3, please. My slide number 3. What I would like to say is the culture and tradition is very dynamic, and culture doesn't know the borders. There's no boundary. Every culture can leak to other region. Just as Dati mentioned in Malaysia, how the Pekalongan leak or Tasikmalaya leak to Malaysia. There is no border at all. There is no government border, no geographic border, no administrative border. Borderless. It is a culture. So you can influence one and the others. And secondly, the culture, very dynamic, is depend on the movement of the people. There is the migration, there is a transmigration, their business, their tourism also. So if you talk about the culture, so it can be somebody just imitate the other, what you call batik. For instance, what I understood from Madam Surapi, batik just a generic name. But maybe in Indonesia we have to consider batik Indonesia. And then in Malaysia is batik Malaysia. But batik itself is a generic name. Everybody call batik if it is only a painting. So, and then we don't discuss whether batik is a pattern, whether batik is a process. It depends on the country itself. If we are talking Indonesia, especially, we are different also between Jogja and Pekalongan. The different city is different. Maybe we will talk still about process. It is in Indonesia. It's outside of this process of batik, using the hot wax just to cover the colors. So we don't call it batik. Maybe, I don't know, maybe imitation batik, or I prefer not to call batik. But and then we are facing the problem, some limitation also on the market. Because normally the batik process is a market or demand pool economy. The demand pool all the new innovation. Because of the economy, the lower price, the number to produce, maybe with the printing you can produce millions of batik with this one pattern. It's really, we have to face it. And we have still to, within Indonesian society itself, to discuss really what is batik and what is not batik. Thank you very much.
Pak Rahadi, that's a little bit intriguing me, because if I'm looking at Mas Agus and Ibu Nia, what do you think of their art? They're the master art of batik. So what do you think of it?
I didn't touch about the batik painting. Yeah. It is maybe a little bit different that normal batik as a cloth, as a fabric used for the daily or haute couture or something like that. I don't know exactly. I know only that long time ago here in Yogyakarta lived, who is the batik painting, was very famous here in Amri Yahya. And then I know also Bagong Kusudiarjo also painted some batik, what is painting, yeah, long time ago, yeah, when he was very young and I was very young too. The time I was also younger. So I don't know, because it is a different area. It is only the way to paint, to express your feeling, to express of your culture, whether it is through batik or through carving, it is or through other method. So it is more, I put it as an art, but using batik as a process. Thank you.
Come, Mas Agus Nia, give your opinion about that. So Pak Rahadi is just talking about another batik is a batik painting. It's different from the batik on fabric.
Oh,
so,
okay.
But
well,
you are the master artist of batik, right? So
I wouldn't call myself a master, but I'm a very happy student. To be a master, I would call a master batik someone who is an empu. Yeah, but I'm not an empu, so I don't consider myself a master. Yeah, but actually, batik painting was a genre in the batik making world at a certain period, but right now there isn't a lot of batik painting going on anymore. Yeah, but in fact, when Pak Kuswarji started doing batik painting, he was drawing from the traditional batik, he was drawing from wayang, and this was like a transition into a more contemporary form of making batik. So it's now, if we see the kind of batik that's going on in the world, and there's amazing contemporary batik being made in the world right now, very, very beautiful work. And I would say probably out of all those people who are making batik, maybe more than half of them studied batik in Yogyakarta and learned from the tradition of batik. So when we talk about process, I don't think we can just talk about technique, because batik is a very important ritual, and anybody who has batik realizes that it is a ritual. And so in that regard, I don't think that it can be separated from traditional batik, because the traditional batik is the master, which brings this process, this sacred process. So maybe a contemporary batik artist in Germany or a contemporary artist in Venezuela, they wouldn't understand anything about the cultural context of batik that exists in Indonesia. But the process itself teaches what has produced this incredible spectrum. So it's not like a contemporary expressive painting where the artist can be like drunk or mad or crazy and doing some batik. You can't make it in that way. So in this sense, in my mind, there can be no division, between batik art and traditional batik, because this is the root. This is the source of the technique,
Thank you, Nia. Mas Agus would like to add more about that? Yes.
Apa ya? Oke. Ya, mungkin apa ya? Ini ya. Jadi because I think it's people is just limited, and every people have something talent self, like example, the creator, like innovation or creative people, that is not all people do like that. Don't tell the worker makes the innovation, because innovation is need something free to create, and not many people like that. And I think it's good to mix the something like infrastructure, to connect with the creator. Something creator is like some like funny or but because on the innovation, on the creativity, that is just natural grow, in my opinion, just like natural grow. And there is special people, and we just do to support, to grow, to create the new, and my opinion is just to makes to connected infrastructure from the special people and special people like that.
Thank you. I was so touched actually when Nia said about Empu, because Empu is very sacral here. I think Empu is something very high. Yes, master talk that. So I can see that the two of you comes from the heart. Is the genre, different genre from the batik process, wearable batik, the process with the dyeing and the wax, things like that. But you see, from the innovation, the creation of the painting of the batik, of the you're right now you already have a lot of art of batik, right? And Brahma Tirtasari, right? So Ibu Surapi, yes. Do you have a painting batik as well in Thailand? Batik painting,
Actually, in my understanding, what is being made in Thailand is more on the clothing. Like scarf, clothing, because it depends on, I'm looking at the buyer's point of view, the consumer. Well, when we go to the market, and if you want to have something for yourselves or for gifts, I always look for scarves, because it's so easy, small, and beautiful, and it's a nice gift. So when I come across the painting pieces, it's very exciting, you know, and I bought a few. So those are painted as an artist piece. You know, each one is different. So it's unique in itself. So maybe you don't call it batik. You know, it's just scarf.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
So that's it's my interpretation. Yeah. And it depends on what you want. Yeah, it depends on what the consumer needs or want to buy. And for the one down south, as a beach wear or any other beaches in Thailand, they thought that batik is good because you wash so many times. So it's color fast and all that, you know.
Yes, there is something that Ibu Fushia would like to add more. Is it because no.
Yes, may I?
No, yeah, of course. No, I mean about the innovation in Malaysian batik, for example,
Okay.
and the word, for example.
I just want to add that I did not mention that we do have a genre of batik as paintings, and we have a sizable collection of artists' work, which are actually collector's items in Malaysia, and these works are exhibited, displayed, and we recognize that as part of our national treasures now. And I'm totally unprepared, did not bring a list of the Malaysian batik artists whose works are for sale in case you are interested. And but if you Google, I think you can find that. But we have got, and there has been several exhibitions of batik as artwork. I just wanted to stress the fact that in my country, Malaysia, the government plays a very important role. Batik is recognized as a business. It is the art, it's business. Yes. I mean, it's not just art for art's sake and you do it. It's not a hobby in that sense. We're talking about the hard business of earning money. It's an economic enterprise. It is a livelihood. When prices of raw materials go up or prices of materials are not easily available, it affects the batik makers. So they have their own associations, which is in the form of NGOs. They collect together their worries, their problems, and they find themselves as a pressure group to put forward their views and their demands and looking for incentives and tax deductions to the government in terms of purchasing white cloth, whatever other materials. They demand, I withdraw that word. They request for promotional activities to be subsidized by government in order to participate in overseas programs, in national programs, and in Malaysia, the Malaysian Handicraft Development Corporation, Perbadanan Kemajuan Kraft Tangan Malaysia, plays a big role in promoting the batik makers at the annual National Crafts Week, which falls in the last week of February. And there they will have hundreds of batik makers, established, young, and enterprisingly new entrepreneurs who will come. And as they have said, it is the genre of new designs in batik that is catching the eye of the world, the customers. You have to innovate, you have to be creative, whether it comes from the heart or the soul or the mind, that is a big question to ask. But as long as you produce a product that is likable, somebody sees and they say, wow, I like that, then the customer will buy. And you just tell whether the technique is print, chop, or it is tulis. And in our country, in my country, it is very visible what is chop and what is tulis. And the tulis now has gone scale up high in the market, ribu-ribu, satu keping, dua hasta setengah, which we think is almost like selling artwork. But I think the other role is the social media. The social media plays a big role in informing the public what is batik, how to recognize, how to differentiate between the various batiks, what is authentic, as I said earlier, what is original, and what should be certified. And makers and people who are selling now are getting very conscious about putting their brand or their labels, just as if you go to the exhibition here, where we went this morning, you have find people who are producing beautiful batik and they got their own brand names, their own nama-nama yang menarik sekali, ya, dengan harga yang begitu menarik juga. Ya. So I think these are our shared concerns. And if you go anywhere in the world today, it doesn't matter whether in Europe or in Australia or in Asia, we're always talking about the same problems. So what is wrong? Perhaps if we can hear from you, maybe we might be on the right track. Last night, I had the honor of asking Pak Sultan, I said, if you have a dream, what would you dream for Jogja? And he gave me a very beautiful answer. But I'm not going to tell you now until the end of this session.
We would like to hear it, Ibu. So it's still a secret, eh? Okay, so, I would like to ask you just one sentence from each of you. When I show you all the pictures, batik in shoes, batik in cars, batik in furniture, batik in ceramic, batik in cakes, I would ask you one sentence only on each of you. What do you think of it?
Matisse in the 19th century did a painting with a parang motif in the background. I think that's so exciting. But Matisse wasn't thinking about batik in Jogja. But it's wonderful to see the influence of this profound culture upon the lives of other people. But if we're going to call it batik, then we have to come back to the issues that we've discussed. But cultural influence, cultural collaboration is a very beautiful thing. It enriches all those involved.
Yeah, one sentence. Mas Agus?
For me, I'm confused for that. Yeah,
what?
Because many people have responsibility what they have life, and I think it's just be free, to have creation depend upon the people what they have background aspect, and I think it's an important thing is we need to to organize because batik is already long exist and become the Jogja is become the city batik, and I think it's all the batik is known like the culture of Indonesia, and then just we just support it all to grow together.
Yes, but
like that.
That's 3 sentences.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would ask only one sentence. Okay, Ibu Bushia.
I think those pictures express an expression of lifestyle. they are not objectionable to me. The only thing is, if you have to label them, you must label them accurately. What's the process, what it is, and so on. Then I don't have any problem with that.
That's he said one sentence, so it's good for Ibu Fusia.
Yes.
Just give a big applause. Now Ibu Surati.
And for me, I think you shouldn't call it batik. It's free, as you say, that an art piece. It depends on the artist to do whatever he or she likes. Whether, but they can call it. They use the batik pattern.
Pattern.
Design.
Yeah.
Because you can't possibly paint the wall by doing the batik process. See? Therefore, you cannot call it batik. But it's just the name of pattern, designs, or whatever. But on cloth, yes, you can use batik if you do the batik process, as you do here in Indonesia.
Okay. That's 1.5 sentences.
Yes.
Okay, Parhadi.
What I saw in the pictures is there is two kind. One is the street arts, and the second is really on the more what we use daily. I don't want to call it is also batik, because the process is totally different. It's a painting. It's a painting of the batik pattern, some of them. But some is even not traditional, some is very contemporary, but it is okay. It is what I call the street arts and the using of the batik pattern for different uses. Thank you, full stop.
He's so clever, yeah? He's so smart. He used the comma every time and every now and then, and so just he said it's one sentence, but you. Para hadis. Okay.
Okay, I will only have one sentence because I'm so looking forward to know what students say. Okay, so the innovation should bring us to reflect upon what is the real development that lies in life of people and the life people want to have. Okay, thank you.
That's the answer of the professor of the lecture, yeah. I don't want to be. I would like to. Hold on. Sorry. No, I would like to be fair. For me too, what is one sentence? Excellent, but not batik. Okay. Excellent, but not batik. Yeah, that's very simple. That's half sentence. Okay, so right now I would like to give the time for the audience who would like to ask or to give opinion or to give comment of what we are talking so far is about the innovation. Actually, the topic is the critical issue of innovation on batik. I don't know if it's critical or not, but we just asking the expert here about what they think about that batik and other material than fabric, and what is art of batik from Mas Agus and Nia about the master batik art, because his works so beautiful. I was in their home and so amazed over the things that she already produced. So I ask from the audience who would like to ask or to put more or to give comment of what we are talking so far. Is it? Okay.
Microphone.
Yeah, like
thank you for the opportunity is given to me. My name Titi for Universitas Pekalongan, Bapak dari Pekalongan. My question to Bapak Rahadi. Okay, I would like to say that my hometown Pekalongan popular with the innovation on batik process batik. I said batik in question mark like printing, sablon with gold marks, with cheaper price than original batik. But actually, I prefer said that it's not batik, but cloth with batik patterns like that. Yes, as Bapak Rahadi said, I also found stamp batik from paper in exhibition Batik Pekalongan last week. I also said, and also I show in YouTube there is an electric chanting, Bapak, electric chanting. As an innovation on process of making batik, I would ask, is that batik? Apakah itu bisa disebut batik, Bapak? Okay, when we talk about batik, yes, it's also a culture, but we also said batik as business, which can give people especially for small and micro enterprise for earning money. In my opinions, it's about the power of fashion for batik. My passion is, or I would say in my dream, see my students go to the campus wear batik as a daily cloth. As we know, batik only wear in party on, I'm sorry for sleeping, we call duster maybe, yes. I want to see my students go to campus wear batik as a daily cloth. Okay. So our challenge is how to make batik. I said original batik to wear for daily clothes, but it's not expensive.
Mbak, I'm so sorry. Saya nggak dengar, kami nggak dengar dari sini, Mbak. Lebih banyak gema. So,
Okay.
I don't know, you are wrong or we are wrong. So, because we cannot. Yeah, I think gemanya aja dikurangin kali ya. Oke, sorry. So, tolong diulang sekali lagi, tapi the basicnya aja. Ya, 1, 2, and 3. Ya.
I want to ask to Bapak Rahadi. I saw on YouTube an electric chanting as a innovation to process of making batik. My question is that called batik? Apakah itu bisa disebut sebagai batik dengan menggunakan chanting elektrik? Okay, and then the second one, my passion is to see my students in especially Pekalongan to wear batik as a daily cloth. I hope in this event I get an idea or ideas to make they love to wear batik. But I hope it's original batik but not expensive, so everybody can wear batik. Thank you.
Pak Rahadi, direct. Yes, your answer is?
Can I sit or I sit? I just came back from Pekalongan, and I know also the dean of the faculty of Batik in Pekalongan. I discussed with him several times. Now the problem is Pekalongan is really the business of Batik. Maybe more than 60% of the Batik producing in Pekalongan is a printing, not really Batik. 60%. And it is really that you have to be very clear that this is the situation in Pekalongan, because they see the Batik is a business. It is economy driven. Yeah, economy driven. And secondly, for the let's say what you call seragam, what is the uniform of the university, faculty, or school? Sometimes it's drive the Batik producer to produce a printing because they need numbers, the volume. But some school to be, I saw in Jakarta and also here in Jogja, every student, they have to make their own batik. Here in Jogja, it is in what you call the Steladus SMP. Steladus, yeah. I saw that, and last time also 2 weeks ago in Jakarta, the SMK 270, they make so very beautiful batik for their costume itself. So if you can propose to the school to produce, the student to produce their own batik, I will be one of the very happy men here in Indonesia. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pak Rahadi. If I'm not mistaken, Pekalongan just the only city that has the faculty of batik. Is it in University of Pekalongan, Unical? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What is okay? That's my ibu. That ibu is.
Terima kasih. Thank you, Ibu. I'm just wondering whether batik is an identity or not. If yes, to what extent it resembles kimono, for example, from Japan. So, if it is an identity, what is the criteria that can be identified as identity? For example, in Malaysia, batik is merely considered as art and business, while in Indonesia is multi-dimensional. If it goes back to the 16th century, it means it talks about political, historical, and if it is for social, cultural, fine. But when it goes to the economy, then there will be more competition then. It is only a contemplation in my mind. My second question will be addressed to Madam Surapi, because I heard, thank you, Madam, because you mentioned about I'm a buyer, not an expert in batik. If you then come across with 2 pieces of batik, the first one is very beautiful, the second one less beautiful. The first one is not really batik, only the motif. Will you think deeper, asking about the process, or you rather choose the beauty of the motif or pattern? Thank you.
This is a very good question. And who can answer that? No, Madam Surapi first.
Yeah,
okay, all right.
Yeah. Thank you very much for asking me about which one to choose. But I would choose the one I like best, like I bought today. It doesn't matter. It said it's not. It is printed. It's block printed, by the way. But it suits me. I thought I can wear it, so I buy it. But at the same time, I also bought batik pieces, for my collection. So that's the different purposes, you see. If I want to wear, so anything that suits me, I buy. But for collection, that's another matter. I want a real batik. Would that answer your question?
Ibu Ois, does it satisfy you? The answer? And about the identity of the Indonesian,
let me.
Is it the kabaya and the kain batik is our identity? I think it's yes.
It depends. Until today, let's say I don't want to talk about the kabaya, because the kabaya is very dynamic now, even I don't know the real kabaya is sometimes. Yeah. But if batik, if it is an identity of the country, it is part of the culture, it should be protected in a different legal system than just copyright. The biggest problem in Indonesia now, the batik is protected under copyright law. And copyright law is a business law. It is individual and it is very individual. I don't want to use another word. But I think it is the time now, even in the WIPO in Geneva, they are discussing about how to adopt the folklore, what you call the traditional knowledge and the expression of cultural should be in a certain different law. If it will be in this kind of law, and then the identity of a country could be protected. But if it is on the copyright law, you cannot protect. Everybody can make a copy. Thank you.
Wow. Is it giving the answer for you, Ibu Ais? So.
May I just touch on the identity?
Yes,
yeah.
please.
For Malaysia, we recognize our batik as official dress. And batik long sleeve is on the invitation card, and you are expected to use it. But of course, people sometimes cheat a bit. They don't use Malaysian batik. They want to pass other batik as batik. So it depends on who's looking at you. But if you have a heart and a mind, and you love what is produced in your own country, I mean, it's an identity issue. It's something that you like and something that you can share. And if I come here, I can afford it, I'll give you a piece of batik. That's it. And for the Foreign Office, the official dress for the women, for the men is baju Melayu hitam with songkok and sampin. But for the ladies, it's either baju kurung or baju panjang, batik.
Okay. Because of the time, I think just one more question is okay. But it's very short, okay?
About 10 years ago, I joined an event in Jakarta, and it was about the copyright, and nothing happened.
It's not working.
Yeah, we cannot hear Ibu Anne.
Join a movement on copyright.
I joined the meeting in Jakarta about 10 years ago. It was, and everybody was talking about copyright and signing the batiks they sell. But later on, nothing had happened. How far is it now for the export?
I think Pak Rahadi again. Since the expert of batik.
I'm not an expert, but I know a little bit about batik. About the batik, I was influenced and infused by my wife already almost 50 years. So that's why I know batik a little bit. Yeah. No, about the copyright law, we do have a new copyright law, the new one. It is from the 2014, number 28, I know exactly. But they are still very, one of the clauses is about the folklore. That it seems to be the traditional batik will be on the folklore clause. But until today, the implementation of the clause is not yet there. But the other side, there is contemporary batik, contemporary design is fully under copyright. So this is the new law. But to be frankly, I'm not to agree with the folklore. It should be separated from the copyright law. Should be an independent law. Thank you very much.
One thing I would like to add here. Our friend Dominic Boucher asked me to convey his message. He's one of the experts and advisor to WCC APR. He's French, by the way, and he used to work for UNESCO as a consultant. He said about batik that he's very upset about China. You know, they have produced mass at very low cost, and it looks, for the people normally wouldn't know what's real Indonesian batik is. So they thought they will pass and buy the batik from China. So what are we going to do about it?
Because just once again, the government try to, we cannot ban the importation, the problem, because of the WTO. But we can make the importation of the textile with batik pattern from China or from otherwise very difficult to get approval. That's what I think 1 year ago or 2 years ago, the government make this regulation. But again, how to implement the regulation is very difficult. One thing, can I just put something more? One more? Just one. With comma, a lot of comma. Some UNESCO expert mentioned to us also is regarding geographic indication of batik. I think it's not that now is the time for everybody here on the WCC Asia Pacific. We can together make how the batik could be part of the geographic indication. Thank you. That's what I.
Thank you, Pak Rahadi. And then I think that's the end of our talk show this afternoon. I think every country has their own opinion about batik, but batik in Indonesia since 2009, UNESCO has already announced that Indonesian batik is the world intangible cultural heritage. We have to really taking care of it. And what we see now is about the many motif batik on other fabrics. That's something that we have to discuss and to be discussed later on. But I think that's not batik as what we accept as our Indonesian batik, because it's always the process of the batik, but of course different from other country. And of course from the art of batik, there's some genre of the a little bit different from batik as fabric on as what we are wearing daily. But as we discuss it now about batik, I think it's very important to know, to do more information, knowledge about batik. And because we are from different country, I think that should be somehow, somewhere, sometimes that we have to, again, the link of what we have discussed today about the innovation. Is it something new, something that, I don't know, is it you agree or not agree of the creativity is the thinking of something new, and the innovation is the implementation of something new. That is something that we can discuss further on, maybe in the next event. And I would like to say thank you to all the audience and to the committee of giving us the time to discuss about the innovation on batik. Thank you so much, and have a nice stay in Yogyakarta. For you comes from overseas, and you from Yogyakarta, please say Yogyakarta is the city of batik. The word batik. Again ya, barangkali semua kita bilang yuk, Yogyakarta
World Batik City.
World Batik City. 1, 2, 3. Yogyakarta is
World Batik City.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mbak Retno, as well as all speakers. Thank you very much indeed. So actually, Madam Fausia was mentioning about 2 dreams of Sultan. Last night, actually, I was there as well, and His Royal Highness the Sultan mentioned 2 dreams, Madam Fausia. First is about the sustainability of batik. We have to think about that. And the second dream is about the since the acknowledgement of UNESCO for batik as intangible heritage. So everybody puts batik in their products, yeah. So we have clothes, we have paintings, we have so on and so forth. Yeah. Yeah, for say so. She was thinking about the dreams of the Sultan. Yeah. I just mentioned one.
Oh, sorry. Is that working? Yeah, this one. This one.
Maafkan saya. I asked Pak Sultan, as a matter of having come to visit him in this beautiful city, and on behalf of the WCC APR, we have been again honored by Dekranas and all, because our relationship with Yogyakarta, with other cities in Indonesia, started in 1985, as long ago, when the whole of Indonesia greeted the world craftspeople to a very big conference, and we brought the whole people to Bali. So last night I asked Pak Sultan, if you have a dream for Jogja, what would that dream be? And he was ready, I think, because he said, I have two. Almost automatically.
Exactly.
And when he said that, I was, maybe I should have asked. But then I listened. And he said, the first is to preserve and conserve the tradition. So recognizing that this is a cultural city, this is part of the culture of Indonesia, the people, it is his duty, His Royal Highness' duty as head of this territory to ensure that we can preserve, conserve tradition. And that... Sustainable. Yeah, I didn't hear that word, but conserve and preserve. And then number two is, while conserving and preserving, we must also be able to move forward to create new traditions in the lifestyle for the contemporary people. And mostly looking at fashion as perhaps one way to look at a new look for batik. So that is his dream. So let's make his dream come true. Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. Thank you, Madam Fauziah, and once again all speakers, and also Mbak Retno Murti, the moderator. Big dreams of the Sultan. So we have to talk about it in the next Biennale, I think. In the next Biennale, or maybe in the near future. 2018, where in Thailand? Oh, here, 2018, okay. And are we going to talk again about innovation?
We thought we honor you by coming in this twin look. Bapaknya dengan satu artis telah buat ukir modern design, ya. Tapi pardon? Yeah. Turn around. Okay, yeah. Okay. So this artist loves this flower. Yeah. So we put it at the back because itu menunjuk ke atas, ya. Okay. Dan saya begini saja untuk baju kurung sesuai untuk majlis di Jogja. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Fauziah. Thank you as well for bringing to us a handsome model of batik. So finally, we come now to almost the end of our symposium, and we will attend to the wrap up of the symposium by Mbak Sita.
Good afternoon again. Now we almost finished our discussion here, but I think we still have more discussion in the future, as tomorrow also a group of our guests from around the globe as well as from Jakarta would like to have also a meeting, what is called unconference, that we will talk more in the future what we would like to discuss for the next meeting as well as the next biennial in 2018. So based on our outstanding of the Yogyakarta as the World Batik City, and based on our discussion within 2 days since this morning, some of recommendations that we're supposed to discuss actually, but that is what we can wrap up for this morning speakers, keynote speaker, as well as the panelists, and the latest about the talk shows. So from this history of the Mataram Batik, we have to be more promoting and more exploration on history of classical batik, primarily through the old Javanese, medieval, and classical texts. This is including also the linkage with the natural environment and cultures. Batik is not just an art, it's not just an economic things, but it's also about rasa. It's about what is our emotion. I think Pak Manu will explain more and more on this maybe within one semester about this. And batik is about also citra bumi, reksa, busana, varna, that we have to explore more and more. Secondly, maintaining and promote local wisdom in the batik process rintang warna or color blocking through handwriting, drawing, and hand stamp. But we learned that still many parties also thinking the innovations without any process of the traditions can be also called as a batik. Some argue and some not. So this is something that we have to discuss more and more on this issue, although the tradition is this. And the third, conserving batik through the protections of the tradition, including under legal backup. What kind of backup? We have to talk about this one. And how we can then, in the same time, Pak Sultan also mentioning through Ibu Raja Fausia, that we have to break through to the new heritage, the new products within to conduct more development and utilizations of the batiks. So this is something that we have to talk more and more on this kind of issue. 4, improving the quality of batik in terms of products and bring to the market globally, nationally, and global. I think Bu Surape is the persons on this, and we need help. How we can then, I think it's not only for Indonesia, but I think in this Asia Pacific regions also need the help of how the folklore, the tradition can be go to the global market as well. And 5, conduct more research on the use of natural dyes in batik process, and to practically promote for our lifestyle. It's not just in the symposium, but also in our daily life. I think Edric Ong this morning also mentioning about this point. And 6, dinaikkan, develop cooperation among countries that have batik cultures to jointly develop the strength of batik quality, develop the business without ignoring the batik process that is hand-painted and stamped batik. But this one is still arguing also, because it can be only the motif, not the process of the batik. But in this case, I think we have to have more bigger participant, bigger thought from Asia Pacific related to this issue. So I think because we have what is called shared heritage. So batik actually is our shared heritage. And the last one is call upon all parties to love batik and continue to preserve it, both in terms of the artisans. We have to teach and educate the buyers, and ask all the persons in the related to educations like K-Chans that work for that, and education is one of the important media for the sustainability of the batik process, which needs to be improved. This is what we discussed today. And if you have something to add or to correct, please, you are welcome to. Or later on, you can also send us email, WhatsApp, or live streaming from your country to us. Anyone? No? Okay. So I will go back to Pak Surya. Please.
Thank you very much. Big applause again, once again, to Mbak Sita. Yeah, indeed, a very beautiful recommendations, but still going on. Yeah, we still have to discuss. Not only waiting for next 2 years, no, but soon we should have a talk about batik. So finally, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our program. Thank you very much for your coming and for your participations. And don't forget, for some of you are invited this evening in the fashion show, in dinner fashion show. Yeah, just in Pendopo Merum, or just beside the Carrefour, beside the Amaroko Plaza. Thank you very much, and see you this evening, and also tomorrow for the rest of you. Thank you. So actually, ladies and gentlemen, we still have refreshments there. The rain will stop, I think, yeah. So you can enjoy the refreshments. Jadi sebelum Bapak Ibu pulang, di luar masih ada coffee break yang bisa dinikmati. Terima kasih. Ya, mungkin mohon perhatian untuk beberapa peserta yang sudah committed untuk acara tanggal 15 ya, ke Imogiri. 14, bukan 15. Pak Polin, ini untuk acara tanggal 15 atau 14? Hah?